Oh, Jamar Chase with the dive. Because Garrett Wilson's wide open. Garrett Wilson, touchdown Barrett. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the video here in the World of Juice channel, and welcome back to another episode of the 2007-2008 Green Bay Packer rebuild here on Madden 24. That is right, we continue on, and last episode we had quite the episode because we're starting to get good now. We're starting to have a lot of our young guys get into their prime and actually develop into fantastic players that we knew they could be. We're now just waiting on the main guy, Aaron Rodgers. He's getting up there in age. He's almost 30 now, but he has gone now from star to superstar development. So I'm hoping that that change, that the growth that he's experiencing will help us, not only help him develop, but help us get to a Super Bowl and finally win one. That is the goal. We've got a crazy episode today. So let's get started. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, and let's get started. So here we are. It is the year 2013. We are going into the 2014 draft with this man right here, Aaron Rodgers, 29 years old. He's going to be 30 by the end of the season. By next episode, he'll be 30. Can we win a championship with Aaron Rodgers? I think we can. I mean, look at the team around him. We've got all superstars on the offensive line, which is amazing. We've obviously got Rob Gronkowski, who we got in a trade last episode, which was unbelievable that we got him in a trade. But we also have Vernon Davis still. But now we have the ability, because now we have Travis Kelce as well, we have the ability to move on from Vernon Davis at some point to give us help around the team elsewhere. But Rob Gronkowski and Travis Kelce is a crazy pairing. We also were able to draft Le'Veon Bell to be the possible replacement for Arian Foster whenever that happens. We've got great receivers. We've got amazing receivers, actually, with A.J. Green and Julian Edelman just being depth pieces at this point. And then on the defense, we've got a fantastic defense. We got A.J. Hawk, James Laurinaitis, Bobby Wagner, Clay Matthews, who's just putting up crazy sack numbers. We've got Bam Bam Cam Chancellor. We got Earl Thomas. We've got Sam Shields, Leon Hall, Sherman, Stephon Gilmore, Chris Harris Jr. I mean, J.J. Watt on the defensive line with Geno Atkins, Jarrell Case. I mean, this team is phenomenal. This team is so good. So good. There's really no way that we can not get to the Super Bowl. Really, I mean, like, if you think about it, there's really no way we can miss out on the Super Bowl. But it's time to load up the 2014 draft class, and everybody knows the 2014 draft class is one of the best of all time, really, if you think about it, considering the players that are involved. Jadeveon Clowney, fantastic. Khalil Mack, fantastic. Mike Evans, fantastic. Odell Beckham Jr., fantastic. Aaron Donald, fantastic. Zach Martin. I mean, some of the players in this class are just unbelievable. Hall of Fame type players. Maybe it's not the best of all time, but it's got some of the best players of all time. So that's maybe why you could think it's the best of all time. Quarterback, we're not really in the market for a quarterback, but I'll put Jimmy Garoppolo, Teddy Two Gloves, and maybe Johnny Manziel for the memes on my quarterback board. Running backs, I mean, we just drafted Le'Veon Bell, so we're not really looking for a running back, and this class isn't amazing. So I think we'll just move on from there. Receivers, I could add another. I could be persuaded. I know we got a lot of depth at receiver. We're very good, but I mean, come on. You got these two right here, and you don't want to add another receiver to the team, and especially these two down here as well. This is a good receiver class. There's some good players in this class that we could certainly add to the roster and help it out. So we'll consider. I'm not saying that I'm going to absolutely go out of my way to get any of those guys, but I mean, it could happen. It could happen. I don't know. We got a lot of draft picks this year. It could happen. Tight end, we're good on. Offensive line, we could use some depth, mainly for in case we can't pay another player. We need to have some backup options. So Taylor One, Jake Matthews, Jack Mewhort would be a good option. Let's see, who else? Maybe Gabe Jackson, maybe Trey Turner. And then centers. We know that none of these guys are amazing. I think we're good on center. Maybe Corey Linsley, but he's normal development and pretty low overall. Definitely Zach Martin would be a good replacement for somebody at some point. And then right tackle, I mean, this offensive line class isn't fantastic. It's not fantastic. Defensively, though, Khalil Mack would be cool. D Ford I'll even put on there. I've never gotten Khalil Mack in any of these videos that I've done with the 2014 draft class, so maybe we try it here. I don't know. I've gotten Jadeveon Clowney before, and I've gotten DeMarcus Lawrence before, but I'll still put them on there just because they're good. We've obviously gotten Aaron Donald a bunch of times, and I might do it again because I freaking love Aaron Donald. He's so good. Hall of Famer, absolutely. Outside linebackers, we could use some backups, maybe some future replacements. Anthony Barr is amazing. Kyle Van Noy's good. Telvin Smith is fast. Middle linebackers, Shazier's great. C.J. Mosley's great. Avery Williamson's pretty good. Outside linebacker on the right side, I'll put Jeremiah Tachu on there. Marcus Smith could be cool. Kevin Pierre-Louis. We've seen the development of Kevin Pierre-Louis throughout the channel. He's fantastic. He gets really, really good at times. I'll put Shaq Barrett on there. He's super low overall, but I think he has star development. I'll put him on there. Corners, we've got a lot of depth at corner now, but we could obviously use some more. Kyle Fuller, Jason Verrett, Bradley Roby. Who else do I want to put on there? Maybe Pierre Desir, maybe. There's some names on here. I don't know if I want to put any. I'll put Malcolm Butler on there. I don't know if I want to put anybody else on the list. Free safeties. We've got Delija Boom, Cam Chancellor, and Earl Thomas, so it's not a big need, but there's some good players in here we could take a look at. Strong safety. We could move Deion Buchanan to linebacker. That could be an interesting little move. He's done that before. But I think that's going to be our board for this season. I mean, the 2014 draft is pretty good with some of the top names. And remember, like I mentioned this briefly, we do have a lot of draft picks. If we go to our draft picks that we have currently Baltimore, Carolina, Philadelphia, Cincinnati, and our own. That is 5 draft picks in the first round alone, plus 3 second-round picks, 2 thirds, 2 fours. We are loaded for the 2014 NFL Draft. We can trade. I may not even use all these first-round picks. We can trade down and get more picks for 2015, 2016. Like, we are in such a good position right now with all these draft picks. And maybe we even get the number 1 overall pick. Maybe Baltimore's bad. Maybe Carolina's bad. Maybe Philadelphia's bad. Who knows? Maybe we're bad. We're not going to be that bad. But there's a lot of potential for the 2014 NFL Draft. I have a feeling that we maybe use 3 of them, depending on where they are, and then we trade 2 to get 2015 picks, 2016 picks, and we just keep on loading for future draft classes to give us good positioning in the future, in future episodes, so that we can have a little bit of flexibility around the next couple of years. Because obviously we're going to be coming up on new contracts for a lot of different guys, so we might need to replace them if we don't have the money. I love the spot that we're in right now. We have a really good team, and we have a lot of capital. A lot of draft capital to work with. So I'm going to simulate the first half of the season. I'll catch back up with you guys at week number 8 so we can decide on the national focus and then get to week 11 and do the prospect stuff. So I'll simulate to that point and see how Aaron Rodgers is doing in this new season where he's a superstar development quarterback. We've arrived at week number 8, and I guess I was right. Aaron Rodgers is the GOAT because he's got us to a 6-1 record, comfortable in the NFC North, and dominating because he's got a lot of talent around him. I can't really blame him. He's doing what you would expect him to do with the talent he has around him. So we got to take a look at negotiations, new contracts. We got $19 million in available cap room, and we've got some expensive players that need new money. That is not good, but remember, this is why I got all that draft capital and why I was so excited about it, because I knew this day would come. I was just hoping it wouldn't come right now. That's the only problem. So we're gonna have to pay Clay Matthews. We can maybe trade Percy Harvin because we have a lot of wide receiver depth. James Laurinaitis, I hate to do it, but we might have to trade him as well. Cam, we probably should try to bring back. Marquise Pouncey, we should try to bring back. There's a lot of players on this team that I like and that I want to bring back. Clay Matthews is just such a good player that I don't know if there's a way we can let him go, but I don't see a way we can pay him. I don't know. I mean, we'd have to restructure a bunch of deals and then be in negative money for a long time. I mean, it's possible, but I don't want to be putting us in a bad spot for future years. So, I mean, we're just gonna have to see what happens. National focus, though, I think I'm going to use the national focus on corner just because I didn't Excuse me, I didn't change my scout. There's not too many corners that I added to the board, but I mean, it's a strength of theirs and it's a strength of the class. So I think I'm just going to do corner. I guess I'll have to remember next time to change the scout, fire Rondé Barber, and not let him be the scout anymore. But let's get to week 11 so that we can do our focus players and keep on moving on. Ooh, we barely beat the Vikings 7-3. That's a rare score. You don't really see that in simulation a whole lot. 7-3. We win against the Bengals. We've arrived at week number 10. Le'Veon Bell's getting an upgrade point. Love to see that. We currently sit at 8-1 on the season. Bears are next in line for the division. But if we can beat them here, that would pretty much trounce them. And yes, we do beat them. So we sit pretty good. We sit pretty darn good. And remember, we have Vernon Davis, who's probably making a decent amount of money, if I remember correctly. So he could also be a casualty. If we go to the tight end position, Vernon Davis, his penalty is $35.6 million. So maybe he's not going to be a casualty, because that's kind of brutal. That is kind of brutal. I don't know if we can take on that penalty. We probably could get something pretty good for him, but I don't think we can take that penalty on. Focus players. Who are we going to use this on? Well, now we probably have to use it on a receiver so that we can replace the receivers that we're probably going to lose. I think I've gotten everybody on this list before in a different rebuild video, but if I had to choose one, I'd probably go Odell for this one. Obviously, Devontae Adams is amazing as well. Offensive line, let's use one on I've gotten Jake Matthews before. Let's use one on Taylor Lewan. And then we obviously know Zach Martin's going to be good. I also need to see where our draft picks even are. And then let's use another one on... Oh, I don't know. How about Malcolm Butler? Let me know officially how good Malcolm Butler is. And let's take a little peek at where the rest of the teams are that we have their draft pick. So if we go to the NFL rosters, and we go to our draft picks, Cincinnati. Thank you, Cincinnati. Thank you. Number 1 pick, potentially. It's not the end of the season, so it's not guaranteed, but potentially the number 1 overall pick, plus the number 3 pick from Carolina. 9 right. Oh, my God. Thank you, Cincinnati. Please continue to be bad. Please. I beg of you. Be bad. That would be so amazing if we could have the number 1 overall pick, because then we could do so many different things with it. We could either use it. Oh, my God. We blew out the Lions 52-0. Dear Lord, baby Jesus. That's crazy. But we could either use it to take, like, Khalil Mack or somebody like that, or we could trade down, get so much in return, and then have the other picks that we have there to be able to use it. So, I mean, we're sitting in such a good spot. But I'm going to simulate the rest of the season. We're 10-1 right now. We're looking real good, real tasty. Have we clinched the division yet? I think it might be still too early. Okay. Nobody's even made the playoffs just yet. I'm assuming that we're going to be the number 1 seed. Like, maybe that's too early. I mean, we're in week 13. We're 10-1. I would hope that we don't collapse that bad, but it's possible. It's happened before. So I will see you guys at the end of the end of the 2013 season, and we'll wrap up what happened in the season. We'll take a look at the stats, all that kind of stuff, and hopefully we'll be in the divisional round of the playoffs. We've made it to the end of the season, and I was right. We do get the number 1 seed. We do get the bye in the playoffs and go to the divisional round. But we finished 14-3. That's a very good season from Aaron Rodgers. I like the fact that Aaron Rodgers was able to deliver on the talent that he has around him. And he put on 3,900 yards, 30 touchdowns, and just 5 interceptions. It's a pretty good season from Aaron Rodgers. 1,300 yards and 13 touchdowns for Arian Foster is very good as well. Le'Veon Bell got a few carries. No 1,000-yard receiver is kind of surprising, but, I mean, Percy Harvin got pretty close. 6 touchdowns, 900 yards. Calvin had 800 yards, 2 touchdowns. A.J. Green had 10 touchdowns and 800 yards, and then Gronk had a bunch of yards. So it looks like Aaron Rodgers was spreading the wealth a lot more than you would think, and not just favoriting one guy. And so that's why we didn't get a 1,000-yard receiver, but that's okay. Everybody did pretty well. So James Laurinaitis leads the team in tackles with 114. Matthews had 86. And this is why I kind of want to re-sign Clay Matthews. Because 24.5 sacks? Are you serious? He had like 30-something a couple episodes ago. This man is a freak of nature. He is unbelievable. Absolutely insane. Bobby Wagner had 74 tackles. Thomas had 73. J.J. Watt led the team in tackles for loss with 15. Casey had 14, Matthews 12, Mario Williams had 11. It's me, I'm Mario. The sack leader was obviously Clay Matthews with 24.5. J.J. Watt had 16.5, and Mario had, I mean, this pairing is crazy. If we could add Khalil Mack to that list, oh my God. Craziness. Casey had 6.5, Atkins had 6. Interception leader was Sam Shields with 3, Leon Hall had 2, and then Cam had 1. So not a lot of interceptions, but, I mean, we're getting a lot of sacks, so I guess give and take, I don't know. It's crazy the defensive stats we're putting up. Now we've got to take on the Philadelphia Eagles for a trip to the NFC title game. Can we get the job done? Yes, we can. Oh my God, a shutout? A 40-point shutout in the playoffs? Playoffs? They put up a donut in the playoffs. That is disrespectful. That's crazy. But we will take on Seattle in the NFC title game in Lambeau Field. It's probably going to be cold, snowy maybe, who knows, but Aaron Rodgers is hopefully leading us to a Super Bowl. Here we go. It is time for the NFC title game in Lambeau. It's not snowing, but it probably is very cold here in Lambeau Field. Green Bay, Wisconsin. And Arian Foster gets 1 carry, and he's already got the yards that we needed on that first down there. A 13-yard carry on the opening handoff. That's a good sign. Taking on Seattle. Obviously, this is not the same Seattle team that it could have been because we have Bobby Wagner, Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas. So we have a lot of their players because we were trying to form the Legion of Boom ourselves. So, I mean, we are what the Seattle Seahawks wanted to be. AJ Green with a great play, and I think I need to change Gronkowski's number. I didn't realize he wasn't wearing number 87. He's wearing number 6, and it's throwing me off. I keep thinking he's an actual receiver and not Gronkowski. It's throwing me off quite a bit. Oh, man, Rodgers is moving. You see how fast Aaron Rodgers is moving there? Jeez, I don't even... What's his speed rating? He felt a lot faster than whatever it is. That was crazy. I got it out of the backfield. I might as well just hit it. Arian Foster able to get the first down. I was waiting for Gronk to get open there. That was my first read. I was just hoping he would, but he never did. So I just hit Foster. He's able to get the first down. We give it back to Foster. He gets an open lane, and Arian Foster, 2nd and inches at the 1. I thought at least they'd give him the first down there. That's okay. 2nd and inches from the 1 is not bad because, you know what? I'm just going to change the play again and just give it back to him. He might as well get the first down and the touchdown, and he does. That's a dominant drive from the Packers there. Very dominant drive. We walked down the field pretty easily. But what can the defense do against the Seattle Seahawks? It looks like nothing because they scored a touchdown. That's kind of sucky. Are they going to do something before the half? They do. They scored a touchdown before half. Come on, Green Bay. Let's not lose this here. There we go. Get us back. There we go. We tie it back up. We need to not allow a touchdown here, and they do. Okay. We are in a dangerous situation. 3 turnovers for Green Bay, so maybe Aaron Rodgers is not the guy that we thought he was. 3 turnovers is not great. Percy Harvin, great catch, by the way. 3 interceptions. It wasn't even just fumbles. It's 3 picks. Picks? 3 interceptions is crazy. A minute to go. It has to be a touchdown. It's going to be AJ Green. Good ball. I'm going to use my first time out here. That might be stupid, but I'm going to use my first time out. A minute to go. Verticals. I like Gronkowski here. He's a big body. Going to try to give him the chance. It's underthrown by Aaron Rodgers, and we are going to lose in the NFC title game to the Seattle Seahawks. Wow. Aaron Rodgers. I put everything I had on that ball. The Seahawks beat us in the NFC title game. That's crazy. I put everything I had on that football, and he didn't deliver it. Underthrown, undercut by, I think it was Tyvon Branch. That's insane, the fact that that happened that way. And we will lose the NFC title game. So we fall short again. And we can't play in the Super Bowl. What, is it ever going to happen for the boys? Is it ever going to happen for the Green Bay Packers? It's going to be the Seahawks and the Colts in the Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers goes up to an 83 overall, but I mean, at this point, I'm kind of angry at him. He lost us that game. So what's going to happen here? What is going to happen here in the Super Bowl? It is the Colts winning the Super Bowl against the Seahawks 15-14. Very close. Very close game. Marlon Jackson must have had a pick 6 or something. He wins MVP of the Super Bowl. Matt Stafford on the Commanders is the MVP of the league. Jack Del Rio, Coach of the Year. MJD is the Offensive Player of the Year. Clay Matthews gets Defensive Player of the Year because he had all those sacks. DeAndre Hopkins is the Offensive Rookie of the Year for the Jets. And Barkevious Mingo is the Defensive Rookie of the Year for the Saints. And now that throws us into a weird offseason because obviously we had Super Bowl aspirations. That didn't happen. We were hoping to maybe get that Super Bowl before everybody goes their separate ways because we just don't have any money. Now we are faced with a weird situation. We have no money, and we have a lot of guys that are in need of contracts. I am going to accept the options on the guys that we can accept, so we can at least keep some of these guys around. And I think those were the only 3. Let me just check here. Yeah, I think those are the only 3 guys that we needed to accept the option on. What are we going to do? That is the big question. Am I even able to trade any of these guys? I know I have negative money, but am I able to trade Percy Harvin? Is his contract, even his contract's not going to help us that much? I think I missed my mark. I should have traded those guys before I simulated the Super Bowl. Because now, we're probably not going to get anything for them unless I restructure some contracts. So I guess we try to do that. Let's start by restructuring. I don't need to do that. Let's start by restructuring Calvin. He is our most expensive deal by a long shot. So we will restructure Calvin Johnson. We will restructure Mario Williams. We will restructure Vernon Davis. J.J. Watt. And Aaron. And hopefully that's freed up enough money to trade some people. Okay, we need to restructure a few more contracts. We're at negative 990K. So let's restructure a few more deals. Arian Foster's deal. See, I don't want to get into a situation where we're just doing this every year. Restructure AJ Green. I can't read. We just used our tag on Tyron Smith. We can't do that. Although, no, it'll only free up 590K. That's not even worth it. This one, I mean, none of these guys are going to do that much now. We're into the cheap contracts now. So I guess that's all the contracts we're going to be able to do. All the contracts that we're going to be able to do. That frees up $4.5 million. Great. Fantastic. I love it. I absolutely love it. But that should allow us to now trade some people because the penalty is non-existent for Clay Matthews, for Pouncey, for Chancellor, for Gronk for some reason. I didn't know Gronk was... Oh, Gronk's not there, but he's having... Oh, because they're paying the penalty, the team that we traded with. Percy Har. Okay, so now their penalty is non-existent, so we can trade them and not have to worry about taking a penalty in the future. And hopefully we can get something back for them at least. All right, so Clay Matthews is the first up. I don't want to trade Clay Matthews. We can get Demaryius Thomas and a bunch of picks. I don't even know if I want a player. I probably should just take draft picks. Or maybe I should take a player, because taking draft picks is probably going to hurt us, isn't it? So where should I send... Where should I send Clay Matthews? I don't want to do this. I don't want to trade Clay Matthews. We just simply do not have the money, the ability, or anything like that to be able to bring this man back. I want Von Miller, don't I? I do. I want Von Miller. So maybe we can grab Von Miller and a pick in 2015. No, I'll go pick in 2016. Is that even enough value? That's a lot of value. Trade declined. I want Von Miller. I wanted him when he was in the draft, and now I'm going to get him. So, oh, we do have number 1 overall pick. The Bengals actually held on and were the worst team, so we are able to have the number 1 overall pick. That's beautiful. We obviously don't need all of this capital in 2014. I'd be willing to give up a 5th round pick this year. Okay, that's not gonna really do anything. I guess it's gonna have to be a little bit more valuable than that. How about a 4th round pick? How about a 4th and a 4th in 2016? Okay. How about a 3rd in 2016? because we can get that back with trading down anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. They like that, but I think it might take a second-round pick in 2016. So if I switch Matthews and a second-round pick in 2016 for Von Miller and a first in 2016, that's very close. But then if I give them a pick this year, like a sixth in 2014, that should get it done, and Von Miller is now a Green Bay Packer. I didn't want to trade Clay Matthews, but I had no other choice. He had to go. Now we got to trade Percy Harvin. Percy's got to get got. So Percy, what can we get for Percy? Nothing. Okay, that's a little disrespectful to Perce. But we'll see what we can get back in return. We can grab ourselves, not Antonio Brown. A little too expensive there. I mean, the wide receiver market's just not what it is in today's NFL. We can grab an old Steve Smith, but this isn't even the Steve Smith from the Carolina. I don't think that's the Steve Smith from the Carolina Panthers. It shouldn't be. The other Steve Smith should be retired by now, I would think. There's not a whole lot of options, is there? I mean, there's a young Keenan Allen that we could go after. That could be pretty interesting. I kind of like that. There might not be any other options for me. I mean, there's some decent players in here, but there's nobody that tickles the pickle quite like Keenan Allen. So I think I might go for him. I mean, obviously DeAndre Hopkins, but I feel like Keenan Allen's the best option here. So obviously this will go through unbelievably straight up. Is there any other players I can grab? Ooh, Jason Kelce. I know he's got 1 year left on his deal, but that's intriguing. Ndamukong Suh, too expensive. And they don't have a lot of players, do they? They are very, very wiped out in terms of their player pool. How about if I throw Jason Kelce into the deal and also you give me a 2015 second round pick? How's that? For Percy Harvin. That would put us over the salary. Okay, so take Jason Kelce out. Percy Harvin for Keenan Allen and a second round pick in 2015 is accepted. I probably could have got a little bit more for that, but that's fine. We got Keenan Allen back. That's pretty cool. That's pretty darn tasty. All right, so we got to trade so many players. So many different players need to be traded. Oh, I hate it. I don't want to trade Cam, man. I don't want to trade any of these guys, really, but I got to get some sort of value back for him. I can't just let him walk for nothing. What am I, a fool? I can't just let him walk for absolutely nothing. Maybe I should package one or two of them together. So maybe we package Sam Shields and we package James Laurinaitis together. No deals? Really? Alright, what about if I can get some replacements for them? So, who's available? Who's a good player that we could go after at corner? I don't know. Not seeing anybody that piques the old interest right now. I love Chris Gamble, but he's too old. Darius Slay, that's the guy. That's the guy that piques the interest. And then as far as other linebackers to replace, we traded with the Raiders. I didn't realize this was the Raiders. So we can't get a replacement for James Laurinaitis, but I could grab Patrick Chung. That could be pretty cool, but he's a little too expensive on the cap hit. I might just go for Darius Slay and then maybe a draft pick like a 2016 second round pick. Oh, you have two of them, so that works. How about that? A second and a third in 2016 plus big play Slay. That puts them over the salary cap. Okay, you can't handle that. So Raiders off the table. Kind of annoying. I wanted Darius Slay, but whatever. Don't have the money. Who else is available? The Honey Badger. And Seattle has a lot of money. So Seattle, you knocked us out of the playoffs, but we can do some business in the offseason. Lofa Tatupu. They've got Casey Matthews, brother of Clay. But they don't really have a linebacker option that I want, so sucks to suck. But that's the man that picked us off, Tyvon Branch. I guess we'll just go with that exact offer that I was going to ask for the Raiders. We'll go to 2016 and ask for their second and third round picks. So Tyrann Mathieu and a second and third for Sam Shields and James Laurinaitis is accepted. I wonder if I could have got a first for that. I don't know. But those two guys are out of the way now. We bring in Tyrann Mathieu. Now who's left? I know we have Edelman and we have Cam Chancellor. We have Geno Atkins. Oh, that's right, Marquise Pouncey as well. So still some big names. Still some big names to be traded away. I don't like it that much. I don't like it at all. Okay, let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. Let's see. Geno Atkins needs to get moved, unfortunately. Cam Chancellor. Let's do these two first. Cam and Marquise. Upsetting that we have to do this, but the Legion of Boom lasted for a little bit. Couldn't pay him, though. Who's the strong safety to replace Mr. Cam? Mr. Bam Bam Cam. Harrison Smith is an intriguing one. Do they have a center option or an offensive line option? They don't have a center. They don't have an offensive line that I like. Okay. If we have to, we'll come back to Harrison Smith, but they don't really have an offensive line that I like. Malcolm Jenkins isn't too old. There's Patrick Chung, but the Raiders have no money. Mike Doss, Laron Landry, Palomalu. Really? There's not that many players at strong safety that I want. That's kind of crazy. I thought out of all the positions, strong safety would be one that I could find somebody pretty simply. But it seems not the case. And we come back to Harrison Smith. He's cheaper than a lot of the other options, so we might just have to go with him. So we go for Harrison Smith, and we ask for a 2015 first-round pick and a 2016 second-round pick. We see what they say to that. That puts us over the salary cap. Well, darn tootin', that's kind of crazy. So maybe Harrison Smith's a little bit too expensive for my taste. I still have a couple of guys I can move on. Like, we still need to trade Geno, and we still need to trade Julian Edelman. So maybe this is where I toss in Jules. And I can ask probably for some extra stuff here. How about a second in 2015? Okay, no. How about just this? Okay, the first round pick might be a little bit too intense. How about 2 seconds? Okay, now they're talking. Now we're speaking the same exact language. And it's the language of Monet. I don't want to trade a fifth. Maybe I can trade a sixth? Nah, I bet a fifth gets it done. Does a fifth round pick get it done? Almost. But if I throw a seventh from 2016 in the way, that gets it done. So we bring in 2 more second round picks plus Harrison Smith, and we give up a lot of talent. And it has to be said, we do give up a lot of talent there. And now we sit with just Geno Atkins and Brandon Spikes and Victor Cruz. But I don't think these 2 guys aren't going to have any value. And Geno might not have any value either. Although he's 26 with superstar development, he might have some sort of value. But I don't even think we'd be able to trade him. Because we're at negative 1.41. So if I were to put Geno Atkins out there, that gives us negative 180. So I'd have to throw in Victor Cruz. And who was the other one? It was Brandon Spikes. So Brandon Spikes would have to be in here. That would get us into positive money for the trade, to allow the trade. But what can I get back in return? I need to get a middle linebacker. So let's go to middle linebackers. Dante Hightower's good. Oh, we can afford him too. We can just barely afford him. So maybe I can get Dante Hightower and a draft pick. Maybe like a 2015 first. It's probably asking for too much. Yeah, okay. How about Dante Hightower and a 2016 second? I always go for 2016 seconds. Okay, maybe not. How about a 2016 third? I didn't do a 2016 4, but I don't really care. At that point, it doesn't really matter. Okay, just we're done with draft picks. We got a lot of draft picks. Let's get Dante Hightower. Oh, they didn't even accept that straight up. Okay, I thought that was going to just be accepted straight up. I guess they didn't. So what we'll do is here, we will give away, I don't know, like a 7th round pick in 2015. No. How about a 6th round pick in 2016? Okay, so we bring in another middle linebacker in Dante Hightower to pair alongside Bobby Wagner. That's pretty solid. Okay, so let's take a look at the fallout. What's the team looking like now with all these new additions? So we do need to get a center because Carl Nix probably won't be able to play center too much. I do, now that I'm here, I need to change Rob Gronkowski's number so I don't forget about it. So let's change Gronk's number to 87 if available. No, 85 is only available. And we need to go to his appearance and give him his brace. He needs to have I think it's the right arm. You got to have yourself a brace there, Rob, to make you look like a true veteran of the league. There we go. Now he's got his brace on his arm. We need to find who's wearing number 87. Is Vernon Davis wearing number 87? That's a good possibility that he's wearing number 87. Is he? No, he's only wearing number 84. Who's wearing number 87? I guess it could be a receiver. Let me just go. It's easier if I go to the roster. Easier if I go to the roster. Who's wearing number 87? It is worn by a player named... Who is it? Who's got 87? If it's down the board this far, it's not important. It's Chris Pantale. Oh my god. Why are you even on the team? Get out of here, dog. Nobody cares about you. Alright, now 87 has been freed up, and I'll give Travis Kelce 85, right? I think he is. We'll give 85 to Kelce. There we go. Gronk's got his number. And then Kelce can wear number 87. Nope, not 87, 85. Is he 87 too? I don't remember. He's going to wear 85. I think he might be 87 too. Who cares? Gronk's here. Gronk gets the higher priority. So now that we have done that, we traded all those guys. We're just going to let the rest of these guys walk, and we will be good to go. We're obviously not going to be able to sign anybody in free agency, but I feel like we did a pretty good job in getting a bunch of return value for those guys. Obviously, we could have gotten even more draft picks, probably, especially for the Percy Harvin trade. I feel like I could have got a couple extra draft picks, maybe an extra 3rd or a 4th or something like that, but we will we'll move on to the draft. I mean, we have the number 1 overall pick. We can have whatever we want. We probably do need to come away with a center, though. And there's not that many great centers in this draft, if I'm being totally honest. I mean, I don't even think I put one on my board, on my favorites board. So it's going to be quite an interesting little draft here to figure out what we're going to do. I guess Carl Nix can play some center if we need him to. I mean, it's a video game. It doesn't really matter. So, I mean, he can probably play center. But I'd like to have a true center there at some point, obviously. So mock draft number 5 has us taking Jake Matthews. That's not going to happen. I probably take Khalil Mack, if anything. And then at number 4, we could take Aaron Donald. And then we don't have another pick until... Wait, we have... Hold on. I could have sworn we had another pick in the middle here, but I guess it changed. We have 23, we have 25, and we have 30. I guess that is 5. Okay, I thought we had another pick higher in the teens, but I guess I was wrong there. So we've got ourselves an interesting decision to make. A very interesting decision. Do we trade out of pick number 1, or do we stick and take Khalil Mack? The only center I put on the board is Corey Linsley, but we know that he's not very good. I don't really know what I'm going to do. Malcolm Butler is a true day 3 talent. That's a little disrespectful to my boy Malcolm. I'm going to use this on Odell Beckham Jr. to find out fully what he is. I also want to know fully on what Taylor Lewan is. And I might as well just use the next one, I guess, on... I don't know, Anthony Barr, I guess. Sure, whatever. But I do want to know pretty much what Odell is and what Taylor Lewan. Because Taylor Lewan could be a guy that we actually do take. So let's take one more look at mock draft number 5 and then simulate. So they've got us taking Jake Matthews. That's not going to happen. I kind of want to take Khalil Mack. But I don't know what I want to do at 4. Because Aaron Donald's right here at 6. And then there's some good players that are going in between our next pick, including Odell Beckham Jr. and Zach Martin. We don't pick again until 23, and then 25, and then obviously 30. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Let's simulate to the draft week so that I can see those true ratings of Odell and Taylor Lewan. All right. How good are they? How good are they? Taylor Lewan's around 1 and Odell's around a true top 5. Okay. Adjust the lineup. So we've got Keenan Allen now. We've got Doug Baldwin. Having Odell would be pretty good. We could put Khalil Mack up at linebacker over A.J. Hawk. If we get Aaron Donald, he would play right there with Jarrell Casey. I think what we're going to do is stick and pick. Because if I go to my capital, if I go to my draft capital, we obviously know what we have this year. But we have a first next year. We have 3 seconds. And then in 2016, we have 2 firsts, 2 seconds, 2 thirds, a 4, and a 5. So we're looking pretty solid on draft capital. So I think, because if I trade out of pick number 1, Khalil Mack could get taken. He's probably the favorite to go number 1 overall. Let me do my due diligence though. Let me find out what we got here. So, some teams are offering me a lot of value, obviously. No surprise here. If I'm going to trade out, I'm going to trade for 3 first-round picks. I think that's pretty obvious. And the Steelers are giving me quite a good deal here. We'll keep the Steelers in mind. Saints are giving me a good deal, but 26 might be a little bit too late. But I mean, it's 3 firsts and 3 seconds. It's a pretty good deal. Patriots are also giving me 3 firsts and 3 seconds, and their deal is 10 picks higher than the Saints. So, okay, hello New England. We can talk. Jaguars are giving me the same deal, but they're a lower pick. New England's deal might be too good to pass up on. They're the only team that's giving me like the craziest. I know I could trade down to pick number 6, and that's not that bad. But pick number 16 is kind of right in the sweet spot. And we get 2 extra first-round picks, which would give us 3 first-round picks in 2016 and 2 in 2015. And then another second-round pick this year. And then 2 more second-round picks, which we already have a bunch of. New England's deal is not that bad. It's just a question of, does Khalil Mack get taken before pick 4? I think he would, right? Because either the Patriots take him at number 1, or another team comes up and takes him at 2 or 3. I don't think Khalil Mack makes it to pick number 4, is the only problem. We could trade to pick 3, but Tennessee would also probably take him. Do we get the draft capital, or do we just take Khalil Mack and take Aaron Donald? Those 2 guys are obviously amazing, talented players. It's a risk. It's a risk if I trade down. It is certainly a risk if I trade down. because we don't know what the team would do that we trade with. We don't know what the other two teams would do as well. How bad do I want Khalil Mack? I don't ever get Khalil Mack. That's the thing. Like, I don't ever get Khalil Mack. We could start him over A.J. Hawk. He wouldn't have to stay on the line. He could go up to play outside linebacker. And then having Khalil Mack and Von Miller on the same linebacking core is kind of crazy. And then having J.J. Watt and Mario Williams there as well on the defensive line. I mean, we're loading up on talent at the defensive line and adding Aaron Donald as well. We could trade with Miami, trade back one spot, and pick up another first-round pick. I didn't think about that. Or we could trade with Arizona and get a first-round pick next year, only trade back to pick number 6, and they're giving me a lot more. Does Miami take Khalil Mack? If I trade down with Miami, swap one spot, can we be certain? Because they were projected to take Jadeveon Clowney. So if I trade down with them, would they take Clowney or would they take Khalil Mack? That's a big question. I don't know. And we'd really only be getting a first-round pick next year. That's really what that trade amounts to. But on the other hand, Arizona gives us a little bit more. And 2015's draft's not amazing. I don't know what to do here. I think I might trade out of the spot and trade with Miami. We trade down one spot. I guess if they take Khalil Mack with this number 1 pick, it's not going to be the end of the world because we can just take Clowney. But we've done that before. I've done the Clowney and Aaron Donald combination before. But they were projected to take him in the mock draft. That doesn't necessarily guarantee that they're going to take him, but that's who they were projected to take. Oh, this is just a big, crazy thing. Do we just stick here and take Khalil Mack? Because we have first-round picks in 2015. We have first-round picks in 2016. I don't think I can risk it. I'm taking Khalil Mack here. It's just there's too many variables. If we didn't have as much first-round pick equity in the next 2 seasons that we already have, I probably wouldn't be as relying on staying at number 1, but we already have too much stuff, or we have a lot of stuff already. I think I'm going to take Khalil Mack. I've never gotten him one of my videos before, and there's just too many questions. I don't know if anybody else is going to get him. I don't know if the Dolphins would have taken him. I don't know if any of the other teams would have taken him, so we might as well just get Khalil. I wanted him, and I might as well have him. I have the opportunity to. So now we see what the Dolphins do. And they stay and take Jadeveon Clowney. Not a surprise. And then Blake Bortles goes to the Titans. So now we're up again at 4, but we don't pick again until number 23, which is a long time. A lot of guys are going to be off the board by the time we get to 23. And we could grab ourselves Aaron Donald. He wasn't projected to get taken until 6 with the Arizona Cardinals. Now nobody's really offering me that much for pick number 4. Pick number 4 is still valuable, but we're not getting near the value that we would have gotten with number 1. Screw the draft picks, dog. Screw the draft picks. I'm taking Aaron Donald at 4. I'm thinking too much about it. I'm taking Aaron Donald at 4. We're going to build up the greatest defensive line of all time. Or the greatest defense of all time, I guess. Now we don't pick again until pick 23. We're going to lose out on Mike Evans. But that's okay. He goes to Minnesota. It's just a question of when does... Zach Martin went to the Jets? When does Odell go? That's a big question. Odell could go at any moment. And I kind of want Odell. So we need to make sure that we get up here. I don't want to risk it. Let's just trade up with the Texans. Let's call Houston and say, hey, Houston, you wanna trade? And they say, yeah, sure, whatever. So let's go to the Texans. Although I could swindle them, possibly, and give them pick 30. How's that? Okay, they don't like that a lot. What about if I give them pick 25? They like that a little bit more. I could consider pick 23 if you tied my arm. How about I give you pick number 30 plus pick number 62 and you call it a day? No? Okay. Then I can also give you pick number 94. They're getting a little closer, but what about if I give you pick number 25? How's that? There we go. So we give up a first, a second, and a third this year to get to number 10 so I can take Odell Beckham Jr. And then we've made ourselves quite the first round, that's for sure. Quite the first round. Odell Beckham Jr., welcome to the squad. Welcome to Green Bay. Giving Aaron Rodgers another asset to throw to. And I still kept 23. Brandon Cooks goes, Anthony Barr, CJ Mosley, Eric Ebron, Justin Gilbert, D Ford, Darquez Dennard, DeMarcus Lawrence, Kelvin Benjamin, Ryan Shazier. I probably would have considered. I do love Ryan Shazier. And now we're back up at 23. Taylor Lewan is still on the board, which I might take. Weston Richburg is available, but I think I've grabbed him before and he wasn't that good. I might grab Taylor Lewan here. There's nobody else that I have to have, so I might grab myself a little Taylor Lewan action, or we could see what the value is for this pick. Probably nothing amazing. I mean, pick number 4 wasn't getting us that much, so this one's not bad, but I'm not seeing any multiple first-round pick options, so if I'm not getting multiple first-round picks, I'm probably not going to do it. And nobody's going to trade multiple first-round picks for pick 23. So we might as well just stick here and take Taylor Lewan. I don't know how good he is, but getting an extra offensive lineman is never bad. Taylor Lewan, welcome to the squad. I think that might be the first time I've taken Taylor Lewan. Maybe I've taken him one time before, but I don't remember for sure. And then we pick again at pick 30. So Jake Matthews goes, Derek Carr's in Houston, Marcus Smith, Weston Richburg, Joel Bitonio, and then Bradley Roby. And we are up again. We've got a lot of options here. A lot of options. We could grab another offensive lineman. We could trade out of the pick. We could take... Really, there's nobody else here that I would want to take with a first-round pick. I'm not going to take a quarterback, I don't think, unless I take Jimmy Garoppolo. But, I mean, we pick it round 1 of the second round, so maybe I take Garoppolo there just to be a backup for Rodgers for right now. Maybe I do trade this pick. We can get a 2015 for the Bengals. The Bengals lived up to the hype last year. They gave us the first overall pick to get Khalil Mack, so maybe we consider that pick from Cincinnati. I don't know if they'd be bad 2 years in a row, but it's possible. I mean, they were bad enough to give us the first-round pick this year, first overall pick. I might do that. I don't really want to do any of these other trades. They're fine trades, but, I mean, Cincinnati's got the history. They got the track record, so you're welcome, Cincinnati. Take a first-round player, but be bad enough to give us the first-round pick, first overall pick next year. They take Xavier Suafilo. They will be the first overall pick next year. Deion Buchanan, and then Juwan James. You know what? I'll just take Jimmy Garoppolo here for the love of it. I've already taken Johnny Manziel, and we've turned him into a legendary player. That's fine. Go check out my Cleveland Brown rebuild if you want to see that. Jimmy Garoppolo is somebody I've never taken before. So, Jimmy, welcome to Green Bay to back up Aaron Rodgers. So, instead of real life, where he got drafted to back up Tom Brady, now he's drafted to back up Aaron Rodgers. So he can't escape the shadow of a legend. Sorry, Jimmy. You're too attractive to let go. Teddy Bridgewater's in Arizona now. Jerick McKinnon. Johnny Manziel's in New York. Yikes. Well, New Jersey. But he's in New York. That's kind of crazy. I don't think that's a good thing, a good spot for him to be in. Pick number 23 of the second round. What do we have here? We got Devontae Adams. We got Jack Newhart. Gabe Jackson. I don't think I've ever gotten Gabe Jackson, but Trey Turner is probably going to be my guy. Yeah, I'm going to take Trey Turner here. Get another offensive guard on the team. Got to get some depth. It's always nice to have depth on the offensive line. So We're going to grab Trey Turner, and then we will simulate to our next pick, which is in the 3rd round. And we only have one of these because we traded it away, the other one away. And Devontae Adams is gone. No surprise, but I wasn't probably going to take him. I think I'm going to take Kevin Pierre-Louis. We know how good he is. He develops into a freak of nature if given the right development scheme. So we can take him. And then we pick again at round 1, pick 4. Oh, no. Round 4, pick 1. So who are we going to grab with this one? Brian Stork is still on the board. I don't think he's good. I know he's not good because he was on my Patriots. I mean, I don't know. But I've never drafted him in this before. I think he's normal development, but we need another center, so I'm going to take him. And I know Corey Linsley, I think, is also normal development, and he's a super low overall. I've never taken Brian Stork before, so we might as well. That is not Brian Stork. I don't know if you guys see what I see, but the player portrait that we have over here and the player model, there's something off about it. I don't know, maybe my eyes are a little blurry, maybe my glasses are dirty, I don't know. There's something off about the player model and the player portrait. I don't know if you guys could let me in on the secret. What's going on here? Am I missing something? I don't know. But we'll see how good Brian Stork is. He's probably going to be in the low 70s, maybe in the high 60s. He's probably not going to be very good. But we need another center option because I think we don't have any centers on the roster, if I remember correctly. Now we are playing for just a bunch of garbage. We're playing for a bunch of garbage. We could take Shaq Barrett. We could take Pierre Desir. We could take Malcolm Butler. I think I'll take Shaq. I think at least he'll have star. Oh, he has normal. I could have sworn he had star. Huh, maybe that's a different draft I was looking at. I don't know. I could have sworn he had star development. Oh, and this is our final pick. Okay. So round 4, pick 30 is our final pick. So I might as well grab the guy that I wanted to grab, Malcolm Butler. Welcome to the squad. Super Bowl hero, Malcolm Butler. And I think that was a pretty good draft. We came away with not only Khalil Mack, but also Aaron Donald and Odell Beckham Jr. in the first round. I think we came away with an amazing first round. Khalil Mack's a 78. Donald's an 80. Beckham's a 79. All 3 top 5 players. Taylor Lewan's even a 73. I didn't even mention Taylor Lewan. He's a 73. He's going to be a good depth player. Garoppolo's a 65. That's fine. He doesn't need to start. Trey Turner's a 73. Kevin Pierre-Louis is a 67. 62 for Brian Stork. I was way off. I thought he'd be at least a high 60. Shaq Barrett's a 61 and Butler's a 64. But I feel like we came away with quite the good draft because we got the best player in the class, the second best player in the class, and the third best player in the class. Boom! That's how you draft, baby. That is how you draft an NFL draft. The top 3 players in the NFL draft are on our team. Super Bowl or bust. Super Bowl or we blow up the roster. We trade everybody and we start over. It has to happen. This team is far too good to miss out on a Super Bowl this season. So we will adjust the roster. They have Brian Stork starting. That is not going to happen. I'm probably going to just change Carl Nicks to a center. Or what should I do here? We could have Trey Turner start. Let me turn Trey Turner into a center. Hardly know her. And then see if his overall goes up, goes down, what happens. He's a 73 currently. So if we switch him to a center, what happens? He is a 70, playing up to a 71. Okay, I'll turn him back. I'll turn him back to a left guard, and we'll switch Carl Nicks. Because Carl Nicks, we already know, is going to be a decent overall. So we'll switch Trey Turner to a 73 again, back to a left guard. And then we will switch Carl Nicks from right guard to center. And he will just have to start over Brian Stork. And we'll look in the future drafts for a true center. So there we go. So he's actually 71. So it's not much more improvement, but at least Carl Nicks was already in position to play center. Okay, so then the defense is amazing. Aaron Donald's going to start, obviously. Khalil Mack, we're going to switch to, what is it? Is it right outside? It is, yeah, right outside linebacker. Khalil Mack will play there. I don't think he's going to jump over AJ Hawk right away, but I think I'll just start him over there anyway. So change him to right outside linebacker, and he is a 78 overall. Beautiful. He's going to start over AJ Hawk. All right, AJ Hawk's really a middle linebacker anyway. All right, so the defense looks phenomenal even with the loss of some talent, but we brought in some talent. We brought in Harrison Smith. We brought in Tyrann Mathieu. We brought in Dante Hightower, Von Miller, obviously. So we didn't lose as much talent as I thought we were going to. Oh, I forgot we had Denard Robinson as well. Okay. I like the team. Obviously, next season, we probably need to win a Super Bowl here. We're getting close to the end of Rodgers' time in Madden because, obviously, once you reach 30 in Madden, you're kind of expendable at that point because you don't really do much else. We'll see what happens, though. If you guys enjoyed the episode, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.